And he was part of RPG when they weren't even that good, right? So they were one of the bottom tier teams in China. Yet he stood out all by himself individually. That teams like CE asked him to fill out. SPT at some point I also think played with him. So he's always been that hidden genius, that diamond in the rough. And looks like with BTG and the formidable squadron that they are, he's finally reached his final form. Or is it even his final form? That is the question. Can they improve even more? Can they maybe cause a little bit of an upset? And can they cause redemption at BlizzCon? Because I think if they continue to play like this, they're definitely going to be qualified one way or the other. Because if you're first place in the regular season, you can no longer miss out on BlizzCon. Because the worst case scenario for you would be to lose in the playoffs. Your one game you have to play, and then you place second. And guess what? Second place is still going to BlizzCon. Only 2 seats, though, from China because, well, friends, China didn't do so well at the last Eastern Clash, right? They weren't able to take a single map from the Korean teams. Definitely a sad moment as an HGC China caster. But that also means that they lost an additional slot for BlizzCon. Only 2 teams are going. Just like NA, I think. Only 2 NA teams are going to BlizzCon because Europe dominated the Western Clash. Hey, Tetcher, is that you? Am I hearing voices?
It is. Hopefully. I really hope so.
Welcome back.
After 2 PC restarts, 3 router restarts, I appear to be up to 6.8 seconds.
Wow.
Or 8.8. I don't know.
Just give it a little more time to pendle in.
Well, it was 6.8 up until about a second ago, and now it's saying 8.8. My timer is on 8, 7, 6, 7. Pulse on 7 because white.
Okay, count again. Count again.
All right, 23, 22.
Okay, you're still
21.
a little behind. I'm gonna try to get a little more up to you.
Okay, I will let you do that before I start pausing again.
Yep. Unfortunately, my latency still seems to be pretty good. That one time where I want the German internet to behave like it normally does.
Okay, I'll try and
yeah,
come
6
down to
seconds
you.
still. 6 seconds. Let me know if you can get down to that.
7.56. Let's keep trying.
Okay.
Because my voice connection on our voice app is saying like limited connection.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I have no idea what's happening.
But you know what? Audio Tetcher is better than no Tetcher. So don't worry about your webcam and the video feed. As long as we can hear you, that's all we really need.
All right, understood. I'm attempting to get to below 9 seconds because it's jumping back up in time now.
All right. Anywho, I was basically just, you know, talking about China and BTG maybe causing a little bit of an upset at BlizzCon if they maintain their current shape. Looks like in terms of drafting, we're not really missing out on anything super extraordinary anyways. Other than that, Zeratul ban is pretty interesting because BTG have played Zeratul multiple times now already. And LLK, you know, we need to talk about that as well. Yesterday, they showed us that Zarya game where they just on the spot flipped roles. And LLK became the main tank for one game, whereas 619, the actual main tank, became Zarya.
Indeedy. So, yeah, I can't get below I can't get below 9 seconds.
9 seconds? All right.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to be able to get up to me. I don't know what to do.
Okay, so what I can do is I can try to get to 7 or 8, maybe in a crazy world that's going to happen. And during the game, I think I'm just going to try to take care of the team fights, and we can then talk after the team fights, like what happened.
Okay, sounds like a plan, possibly.
By the way, what I just noticed, by the way,
I'm
trying
going
to...
higher.
You're getting higher?
Yes.
Oh, no. What I just noticed, by the way, I'm not sure if you guys saw it too, while trying to fiddle with my latency. At the very bottom left corner, do you see that tiny little mouse arrow? That's where the observer has the mouse. I never noticed it before. Well, you can actually do in Heroes of the Storm when you observe professional Heroes of the Storm. You can lower the size of your mouse cursor, so most of the viewers will actually not notice it. But we just did, Chad. We are smart. We are super smart.
I'm trying turning down the quality of the stream, and that might have worked. 6.78, 6.81.
Dude, if you are at 6.8, that would be fabulous, because I can definitely get in there. Let me just
Okay. Get there.
try it a
turn on
little
to
more.
360p.
No, that feels like 2005.
It feels like last year, Tetcher. That's what I had to do. That's what I had to do for most of our casts. I was casting from like 480, 360 pretty much every cast.
All right, but you now have it stable at 6.8?
Seemingly so.
Okay, I think we're going to be able to work with that. Amazing.
Okay. What are you up
Sounds
to?
like last year's Tetcher.
What are you up to at the moment?
Sorry?
What are you up to at the moment?
6.3. So
All right, that'll do.
that will have to do for now. But anywho, this is looking good.
My voice thing is still giving me several red bars.
We can just understand you perfectly fine. So we're definitely fine in there. Not even a robotic Tetcher. Everything is Gucci right now.
Well, I can tell there is certainly a delay in what I say coming to you because there's like a big pause before anything happens every time.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into the action with a remote control Tetcher. But hey, that's still better. That's still better than almost any other person I could think of. So I wouldn't want to trade you for nothing right now with BTG against TeamNut here. And beyond the game, our current #1 position team, they're being represented by... Wait for it. Wait, we don't even have a split screen this time? There we go. 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Locktar in the blue side.
And on the right, it is TeamNut with Mercy, Atui, Malthael, Nightmare, and Dia.
All right, up to this point, I was actually starting to get a little worried here about BTG maybe going a little crazy, not respecting their opponents enough. But nope, just like the high-profile team they are, they show respect, they go for a normal draft, and they immediately go for a gank onto Dia. But Jet Propulsion brings him to safety up to this point. They don't go for a soul laner yet, though. This is still a 5-man push. Only now is Locktar moving on to the bottom.
The continued theme of Blaze being the first person to get ganked in every single game we've had today. And we are sticking with an Exterminator Rainer, actually. So it's all about that immortal race, try something to compete with Hanzo. Dia over the wall. Can they get to him? No, they don't even try. They're just going to take the second tower.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are currently content with just, you know, bursting down those gates and towers. And can't really blame them. That is always a nice additional chunk of bonus XP. Although I think Locktar will have slightly better survival chances on the Irel. In terms of wave clear, I think both should be equally fine. Look at Dia, though. He's immediately piecing out here. Doesn't want to get too close to 619. Who's back on the main tank role, by the way. So no more shenanigans, no more experiments. And looks like we're just going to have a mirrored base race Tetcher.
Yeah, both teams just going to straight up take a fort within the first couple minutes of the game. First four goes down a little bit quicker for BTG. TeamNut, though, follow... Actually, no, I think they actually got theirs first.
Tetcher, I feel so bad right now. You know, when BTG destroyed their fort in the top lane, it had a nice, flashy, black BTG banner. And TeamNut, as you can see here, nothing. Just a standard Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, they have. Their TeamNut banners are available. They just didn't take them.
Someone forgot to lock him in.
The joy of the tournament realm. As we do see BTG looking for Dia. This time a beautiful close-in, and they are going to be able to grab first blood.
Are they actually? Yes, they are.
They should,
yeah. That was such a cute little flank there, I agree. Because they came with a pincer move from 2 angles, and they found that kill on Blaze, preventing him from jet propulsing to safety here. It looks like with that kill, they tasted the blood, and they are trying to go for an aggressive move, but no. They decide it is not time to go for all-in mercenary camp steals yet. BTG calming their horses a little bit.
For the moment, at least, holding everything together. As we do see Dia getting a little bit of damage from the Impalers, nothing actually significant. It's only a level lead currently in favor of BTG, but they're still playing hyper-aggressive, moving forward of 619. They decide not to do the full invade.
That's the question, right? How does BTG do it? They did the exact same amount of structural damage. They got that 1 kill, okay, but 1 kill in the early game does not give you an entire level lead. So even in these mirrored moves, in these parallel movements, there's still something that Beyond the Game seems to have done much better.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for them. Good dodge on the Stormbolt. Nightmare. Ooh. Actually saved by terrain there. If he'd been thrown the full range, would have been working pretty good.
And now we see the good position actually for TeamNut. They do have Hanzo as well, so good racing is secured. And Raynor currently moving all the way to the top here. He's trying to basically chip that thing down all by himself. With that Exterminator that you mentioned earlier, Tetra, they're probably going to be able to successfully do that if 619 and Loktar, if the frontliners don't run out of juice, out of health anytime soon. Oh, nice toss there into the Immortal stun. Muradin super low now.
Taking a fair amount of damage. We see Yrel going down. LLK in full retreat as the chase comes in, but Blaze cannot get close enough to finish the job as they look for 619 for the resets for Li Ming. Again, not happening. Can't get close enough. TeamNut, though, able to take a pretty good team fight.
Yeah, with that kill on Loktar on Yrel, they actually established themselves a nice lead, not only in terms of, you know, numbers and team fighting advantage, but also in terms of Immortal, and that first Immortal actually is moving on over to TeamNut, it seems. There's nothing they can do about it. Raynor arrived too late. Hanzo is too hard to outrace anyways. It looks like 619 and his boys are quite furious about that. They're looking for some kills, but they're getting triple stunned by Blaze.
Seeing a fair amount of damage. Loktar trying to tank through this. 619 able to get the deck of shields, which keeps him nice and safe. Ooh. Druid chasing down Malthael, actually the support chasing down the raged assassin. But everyone is able to get out for both teams, but TeamNut with the first Immortal of the game.
Yeah, and that fight actually shifted all the way towards the bottom half of the map, so they now have to run a much longer distance to even reach that Immortal in the first place. So already, although it wasn't really the tankiest of Immortals, it's dealing great damage onto those towers. Now Malthael on Li Ming, and the rest of TeamNut have arrived as well. And this is actually starting to look better and better for TeamNut. Now equalizing the score in terms of experience, 7-7.
Nightmare just dueling, but once again gets tossed in. Anti-heal applied, but the follow-up CC was not there to lock down Nightmare, which might have resulted in a kill. As BTG begin creeping forward. You can see 619 hovering on the point. They don't help finish off the camp until Wrecking Ball is off cooldown. You can see them delaying that exactly for this reason, so that when Nightmare moves in for the steal, Garrosh can throw him off. But that is why Raynor was not attacking those Impalers for so long.
Both solo laners were actually already on the move here to reach, excuse me, the top lane in time here. I think Blaze would have actually been there a little quicker. So that would have been good for TeamNut, but as it is, the mercenary camp goes over. Warbringer now fully stacked up for Garrosh, always a nice thing to have. And now, with the attention still being put on the top lane for the most part, they're making a rotation, because that is still where Beyond the Game can get mercenaries, as we can see here. And that's where they can also still get structures. So with that mercenary camp, they're probably going to try to siege up here. Looks like TeamNut is a little too slow to react.
They're hovering around the area for now. Tui's actually going to port back. A bit of a risky move here, but might work out in his favor. So we see the shots onto Loktar. A couple arcane missiles coming in here, but he's still pretty tanky at this stage. Still Loktar very much leaning on this Yrel, but you can't blame him with these kind of results.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Yrel, by far his most successful hero, still undefeated. Don't really have to be a ruckus scientist to get that fact straight, because they have only lost one game, and that game was when he was not playing Yrel. So do the reverse math.
Reverse math. Quick math. Yrel +2 is game tie. As we see a toss onto Nightmare. 619 actually eats a Stormbolt. Fair amount of damage. Has to drop the Indomitable to stay alive, as he will be able to back up here. Junkrat has finished pushing bot lane, as the Fallen Shaman camp will continue to get some pressure done up there. And the top Fallen Shaman camp also pushing against BTG though, so they need to send someone up there eventually.
Yeah, once again, a dead even game in terms of mercenary progress. Druid on Decker Kane, by the way, is working double time to keep 619 alive here, because he's taking most of those Li Ming shots and Muradin Stormbolts. He's taking quite a beating from all those poking abilities. But as it is, look at that. Yrel is taking care of that top mercenary camp, while the bottom one is still uncontested. Garrosh, if he ends up falling, gives Li Ming resets. And that might be a pretty rough spot here. Raynor still alive.
LLK also able to back up currently. Once again, lead for TeamNut as they
no way.
Don't snipe dancing. Clutch shield once again by Druid.
That was absolutely amazing here. The accuracy and the timing of those potions couldn't have been any better. But now, beyond the game, are they going to make it in time here? Murden walks into that stun, anti-healing Emerald Cube, and that is going to be the kill onto Murden. He says goodbye and gets thrown all over into the depths of hell.
And BTG, despite losing 2 Immortals in a row, they still hit level 10 first with that kill. 2 kills to 2, and they now move up to defend against the Immortal, prevent any extra pressure coming into this top lane, which was already weakened. And they will be able to clean that up pretty quickly once again. Exterminator Reyna just wrecks through the shield of this Immortal.
Yeah, I think this is really where they get so much value from that talent. Although they already have to use it while being behind, right? So ideally, maybe who knows, if they had gone for Ace in a hole, that would have been a different story with that additional damage. Maybe they could have gotten some more kills. But as it is, TeamNut, man, they're doing what no other team, the exception of the one, had been able to do. They're pushing beyond the game back. And if they maintain that lead, who knows, we're going to have that major upset of HGC China.
We will find out, as it is currently 11-11, both teams with all heroics online. And the question is, who is going to try and pull the trigger first? Looks like it is going to be BTG. When this looks familiar. They were thinking about killing Blaze, but he's not where they think he is. So instead, they just take down the fort. And Blaze, he should really have started porting beforehand, because now he is going to try. Oh no, he's trying to gank him for his team. Dragon arrow onto 2 members. Druid is the target. Druid into the fray, though, is going to sneak away even with the Arcade Orb landing. Throws in the just a beautiful Riptire from LLK at this point, who's just sieging in the damage. The sleep onto Blaze to prevent any extra bunker protection for the team, so it's just going to be a 1-0.
And that is sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, the backfire moment when you go in aggressively as a Li Ming, expecting a secured, safe reset to give yourself a little bit of health because of your level 4 talent, and of course, the reset to give you additional mobility as well. They set that up very nicely, actually. That Dragon Arrow landed exactly on the target that they wanted to get. The shot calling was real as well. Druid was indeed the best target to go for, but then with a friendly toss coming in from Garrosh, that is really where they saved Decker Kane's life. And then a beautiful setup here by Decker Kane, but unfortunately, unintentionally, Matt Horner in that Hyperion waking everybody up.
Yeah, on the bright side, though, the Riptire from LLK was beautiful to finish off Li Ming, who was trying to dive deep for Druid there and got caught out. So very nice job, and as such, still an experienced lead in favor of BTG as they move onto the map, and TeamNut. They are going to try and look for their 3rd Immortal of the game, but their opponents are about to hit level 13, so that's going to be difficult.
Very true. They're even trying to group up here right now. They don't have anyone on split-soaking duty, so the level 13 won't hit immediately here. Locktar takes a potion, gets pummeled and poked down yet again. Actually pushing them out of the scroll of ceiling here. Definitely not intended, I believe. But yeah, those warriors right now with that double poke combo by TeamNut, they're taking so much damage before they can even hope to arrive near their opponents.
TeamNut just win the objective again. Yeah. BTG, they start a defense and then back up, unable to do anything. And TeamNut, these team fights are not going their way, but every single Immortal phase is just coming up dividends for them. Right now, they're going to try a Fallen Shaman camp.
I think Beyond the Game is aware of that, though. They see Murden trying to stall and zone them out here. That must be the giving tell that they were trying to get that mercenary camp done.
Too late. You can see Li Ming scouting at the area around this Immortal so that she can work out what the best angle to poke in is. You can see also Hanzo pinging in a shot or two whenever he can. Junkrat sends out a scouting mine or two, finds the 2 damage dealers hiding in this little lane area.
I think at this point, Beyond the Game needs to try and go for a flank. If they just go and head straight, it's too predictable. Hanzo and Li Ming can always fire their salvos onto those engaging warriors. They need to find someone in the open here and maybe flank them out. Here comes the Riptire, though. They're trying to go after Blaze. Yeah. Riptire dismantled before it even connects.
Dragon Arrow was also used, though, so it's a heroic for a heroic as they begin to dive forward. Nightmare looking for Locktar here, but Locktar stays alive this time. The Hyperion will be enough to zone out the rest of the team.
Look at Mercy, by the way, on that Hanzo. During all of this action in that team fight, he was able to sneak in that remaining damage. And TeamNut, they are resilient. They refuse to go down like that. And look at that, actually. That mercenary camp dealing some terrific damage onto the top lane as well. And yet another Immortal. A triple Immortal play by TeamNut against the best team in the league.
3 Immortals in a row, barely taking the shield off. I really would not mind seeing Reyna just getting some split Immortal value in some of these fights instead of joining in the defense. As we start to see BTG looking for their own defense, 619 has to take a bit of a roundabout route as he was looking for a flank, but he was scouted very quickly. Root from Malfurion actually lands. He has to burn Indomitable.
Yeah, the Wave of Force was used as well to bring him closer to the follow-up damage of TeamNut. The tower falls, only one left remaining, but the Immortal is already hitting on that keep. Can they get those kills here? The anti-healing is good, but Bunker is better.
Sleep comes out, trying to hold the line here. Good stun by Blaze, but Riptide looking. He wraps around all the damage dealers just to get to the backline and does good damage to Dia, but it's not enough. No deaths in this fight yet, but they're trying to focus onto Nightmare as Li Ming is desperately trying to whistle down 619 for the reset. But both teams now in full TeamNut now in a full retreat. They've been able to massively weaken the keep, but it does survive.
It does survive, and that is the most important thing for Beyond the Game. But once again, massive shoutouts to TeamNut, who are currently dominating these objectives every single time, though. Is anyone crazy enough to jump on that mercenary camp? Looks like for Beyond the Game, they're actually too late here. And that, up to this point, I feel like Tetra has been the crippling factor for Beyond the Game when it comes to finding those engages, right? Neither Irel nor Garrosh have those amazing gap closes, right? Irel is pretty predictable. It slows her down as well. It's not the longest range. Garrosh, all he can do is just walk right next to you. They don't have a Murd and they don't have a Diablo to really come with these surprise initiations.
So now then, Loktar moves down into the top, moves up into the top lane. He's going to clean up and try and relieve some of that pressure, because like you already mentioned earlier, that Merc camp taken by TeamNut did actually put some pretty reasonable pressure on during the last Immortal fight. So they need to make sure that that lane is safe and doesn't take too much more front wall damage, otherwise the next Immortal will batter down the keep.
Yeah, this is good timing by LLK as well. He realized that it was finally time for Beyond the Game to take their own Fallen Shaman camp here, because we saw the value of the previous one in favor of TeamNut quite heavily there. And TeamNut, I'm not sure if you guys caught the timer there as well. Still takes like 10-15 seconds before it gets unlocked. So they have this moment of opportunity here, Beyond the Game that is, to establish a good position. Taunt onto Murden, anti-healing is good. Can they burst out Nightmare?
He gets Riptide, but he leaves his coin to stay on and listen, but he's got so many people in between him and the enemy. Finally finished off by Raider with that Hyperion, as Atui also gets hit by a beautiful concussion mine, but it's not enough. Atui actually sneaks away and survives, but Dia gets sniped by Loktar and Raider, and finally BTG just destroy TeamNut in the team fight.
Malfurion stuck in the Emerald Nightmare here, if you will. He was sleeping through all that here because of Druid on that Decker Cane. If Malfurion hadn't been, caught in it, or if he had been woken up by accident, I think he could have actually saved Murden with just one Regrowth and a Moonfire, because that would have been so huge. But as it is, his Alliance friend had to say goodbye, and this, Tetra, might be a full HP, full shield Immortal. And no matter how many you have in the late game, in the early game, all that matters to the late game. This one Immortal is probably going to get more value done than all three others combined.
Junkrat with the triple shot at level 16 here. Fires out 3 grenades instead of one at a time, basically using up all his charges. He gets one less charge but can fire out 3 charges at once instead of one at a time.
Yeah, interesting. Normally we see the volley, of course, that we all know, but here he is. You can actually see that one coming into effect here.
It's an unusual pick. It's got some pretty decent burst damage, though, if you're going for a single target. So it might work out as he begins to siege in here. Emerald Cube comes out. Sorry, not Emerald Cube, saving the Emerald this time. They begin to move forward, looking to move in with this Immortal. This is their first Immortal of the game, and they're going to look to take a keep with it.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to go for that keep here. Irel being, rooted and poked down here, but she takes all that damage like an absolute champ. Bunker, in the meantime.
Good taunt on Blaze. He just gets detonated, as that is going to be the keep, and maybe even the core with that kill. They look to move further, and that Immortal still has a lot of shields.
Yep, still has a little bit of shielding here. If they find another death to make it a full stagger, that would be great for Beyond the Game. But TeamNut, they're resilient. They're not letting go just yet. Another great stay a while. Listen, just for zoning, just for buying time here for the Immortal and the members of BTG to hammer down that core. And that's exactly what they're going to be successful in doing.
Nicely played by BTG, but TeamNut definitely put their backs up against the wall there. Solid play for coming in there, and though 1-0 for